before we get too deep into today's episode, happy 4th of July week, happy 4th of July weekend. And I want to ask, when you're at your backyard barbecue, what is the first thing you put on your plate? Meaning, I don't want to risk getting too full and not being able to have a little bit of this. For me, gotta play the hits. Gotta go with a nice hot dog. But now, let's talk about 3 bounce back candidates for the Atlanta Falcons. I thought this would be a good time to do this video because, you know what? Not a whole lot of juicy news out there. And coming off an 8-9 season, you left a lot on your plate, which I won't be doing tomorrow. But you definitely have room to grow across the board. And I identified 3 people who I think are in a good spot to bounce back. I'm not going to say that I believe all 3 are going to bounce back at the same level, some more than others, but I do have some shreds of confidence for all 3. So let's start with Younghoe Koo. Last year was abysmal. 73.5% on field goals. Keep in mind, the 5 seasons before that, the floor for him was 86.5%. So a 13-point drop from his previously lowest field goal percentage as an Atlanta Falcon. I don't have any, I would say evidence, but I don't want to come in here with just a gut feel and just go, he's going to bounce back because, well, we all just want him to bounce back, right? That's not really helpful to anyone. So I did some research, and I was curious. For a kicker like Younghoe Koo, who's had a lot of success over a long period of time, 5 years of at least 86% on field goals. Has that happened to other kickers where they have one off year despite 5 or more great seasons? So I did some research, and I want to share my research with you. First off, I started to look at how many kickers have had 5 or more seasons with at least 86% on field goals. And there's a long list of guys who have done that. To be exact, there are 36 kickers who have had at least 5 seasons of 86% or better on field goals. Some of the best are towards the top of the list. Justin Tucker is up there with 10. Robbie Gould, longtime Chicago Bear, longtime 49er. He's had 9. Adam Vinatieri is up there. So I started to look towards the top of the list of those kickers. I just wanted to see, hey, have they ever had a season like Koo where despite 5 years or more of excellence, they had one bad year? And did they bounce back? And the answer is overwhelmingly yes. Justin Tucker, I looked at first, and last year with the Ravens was his first ever bad season, to be honest. And I'm not even confident he'll ever play football again. He's suspended 10 games, no matter what team he plays for next year, if he does play at all. So I'm sure some team will pick up the phone once if you're suspended, you don't even count against the roster. So maybe some team will add him. But anyway, there's also a bit of a circus going on legal-wise with Justin Tucker. So we can't really definitively say whether or not Justin Tucker will bounce back because he may not get that opportunity. So put him to the side. What about Robbie Gould? All right, I looked at Robbie Gould's stats. Robbie Gould in 2014, is second to last year with the Bears, played in 12 games. Somewhat similar to Koo, played in 14 games last year. He had 75% on field goals. All right, that was a career low for him. He was released by the Bears not long after, played 1 season for the Giants, and was good for the Giants. For New York, he only had 10 field goals, but he went 10 for 10 on those kicks. Robbie Gould, the next 2 years, first 2 seasons with the 49ers, 95 and 97% on field goals. Then he has a down year in 2019, 74%, kind of like Koo, right? His last 3 years with the Niners, 82%, 87%, 84%. That's just one player, though. How about Adam Vinatieri? Hall of Famer. I just don't know if he's in. No, I don't think he's in yet. Adam Vinatieri in 2003 with the Patriots had a season with 73% on field goals. He would raise that by 20 points for an NFL single season best in 2004 with 93.9% conversion on field goals. So even Adam Vinatieri had some down years, like with the Colts in 2009, 77%. The next year he bounces back to 92.9. How about Atlanta's very own Matt Bryant? In 2015, in 10 games, you might remember Matt Bryant not being the best. He had 77% on field goals. The next year, the guy's a Pro Bowler, 91%. So, yes, players can go up and down. But when players have a long run of being successful, like Younghoe Koo has done, 5 years of 86%, you can see they are in good company of kickers who, when they had a down year, it wasn't time to completely smash the panic button, but rather just trust that those 5 seasons are a better indicator of their career than one down season. All right, let's move on to the next player who I think is going to have a bounce back season. And this one's a bit of a caveat. I'm going to go with Divine Diablo. I'm really just tossing him in here, not because he needs to have a bounce back year. He wasn't even with the Falcons last year, so this is going to be, a new season, a new year, for a new chapter for him in Atlanta. But I have heard nothing but positive things from Raheem Morris about Divine Diablo. And so I'm just going to toss him into this video because he's had some injury concerns throughout his career. He's, been a jack of all trades. Is he a safety? Is he a linebacker? I think Raheem Morris just sees a football player. He just sees someone who's a bat out of hell, who's going to bring some speed to the defense, and it'll be him and Caden Ellis, I suspect, getting the most snaps at linebacker, with Troy Anderson filtering in on like 3rd and 3 when you want an extra run stopper in the middle of the field. But on 1st and 10 in your base defense, you're going to see a lot of Divine Diablo. So get ready for that right now. So I'm going to toss him in there. I'm kind of cheating on that one, but when you're the host, you can, make and break your own rules. And then the third bounce back candidate I want to include, Raheem Morris. Remember at the beginning of the video, I said not all these guys I have as much confidence in as, one after another, like they're not all the same level. Morris, I'm just going to put in here because I know he watches all the videos. Of course he does. And I want him to have a little bit of positivity going to his 4th of July, barbecue and parade and backyard brawl. So, yeah, I'm going to toss Morris in there because I want to believe that he put a bunch of clocks in his house. Maybe he was like a digital guy and he decided, let's toss out analog a little bit. I don't know. Whatever he needs to figure out how time works, do it. But I'm going to trust that Raheem Morris has devoted the last 5 months to just walking around and going timeout. You know what I mean? Maybe he's just like incorporating it into his like daily life. Like when he's like giving his order at a restaurant and he decides, I do want some onions on my steak. So timeout, name that movie. We're going to reverse back and we're going to get this right. So I'm just going to put out this, good vibe into the world that Raheem Morris is going to bounce back from his awful clock management last year. And he's going to figure out that, time goes at the same rate on the field as it does in regular life. So don't just watch the time and the clock tick away, and use those 3 timeouts right there, Raheem. All right, that's going to do it for us on today's video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed a nice Younghoe Koo stat breakdown, and I'll see everyone later.